Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for being here for the HerStory in Action for July 2025. I will be your MC for this event, Adia Lancaster, and I'm so happy, we are so happy that you're here, whether you are joining us live or at a later date. Thank you for taking the time to be here to celebrate two incredible women who are shaping their world, the world, with their courage and compassion. Before we get into our program, I'd like to bring up our new president of Women's Federation for World Peace USA, Dr. Katarina Connery, who will share a little bit more about what we do here at Women's Federation for World Peace, and also some background on the HerStory Award. So please welcome Dr. Katarina Connery.
Thank you, Adia, and hello, everyone. Glad you could be here together with us virtually. So yes, actually, the HerStory Awards is one of my favorite WFWP programs that I get to participate in and lead because we get to honor the real stories of women leaders. These are women who have accomplished amazing things in their lives, both personally and also professionally. And we're here not just to learn about their resumes. You know, they have very impressive and inspiring resumes and accomplishments and things they have done throughout their lives. But the HerStory Awards is really about recognizing the story behind those accomplishments. How did they get to where they are today? Many times those stories are not known or revealed for all of us. Many times we see the accomplishments and we're inspired by them. But for these women who will be sharing tonight, and we are honoring today with the HerStory Awards, they have been through many difficulties, seen and unseen. They've gone through many ups and downs. Maybe they faced failure many times or roadblocks, or maybe they have even hit the very bottom. But unfortunately, also, you know, it is the case in our world today that women leaders do face many challenges just by being a woman leader in our world today. So, the thing I love about the Her Story Awards is that these women, these awardees, they're asked to share that story. What have they gone through, and what were the lessons that were learned along the way? Despite the many things they may have gone through or experienced in their personal lives or the ups and downs of their careers, they have come through with very beautiful hearts and this heart full of love for others in their work. You know, it's not just about a job for them or about, you know, being recognized, but really these are women who are leading with heart, which is what we are honoring today. And many times, you know, we go through challenges, and we can become hard, or we can become bitter or resentful. But these women, they have faced the struggles, very real and personal difficulties, and they did not let those things overcome them, or um, you know, they digested those struggles, and they're using those precious lessons, those life lessons, the wisdom, to help others and to serve and inspire and care for other people in the field that they're working in. In Women's Federation, we would call this heart-centered leadership. And I wanted to read one quote from our founder, Dr. Hak Moon. She says that women have the capacity to embrace all people. A woman, especially a mother, is like a bowl with the capacity to embrace men, women, children, and the whole. And nobody can change that. So, this quality of leadership is not about having all the answers or taking charge, but it's about leading through example, through service, through a heart to embrace and care for others. So that's what we're about here at Women's Federation. And that's why I love the Her Story Award, because we get to connect with and learn from women who are doing this in their own lives and in their own fields. So I invite you, if you're listening to this right now, I invite you to open your heart to hear their stories and learn something. There's some amazing pearls of wisdom that we're going to be hearing tonight. And with that, I pass it over back to Adia, our MC, to get the ball rolling with our amazing awardees that we have on the deck.
Thank you, Madam President Connery. I am so excited to introduce you to Dr. Susan Taffer. She is the founder of World Connections Foundation, and she has her own cheering stand. Okay, I'm seeing all of these congratulations pop up on the comments. So let's get to introducing her first, and then we will bring her nominators up to share a few words, and then we'll have Dr. Susan come and speak. So Dr. Susan Taffer is the doctoral chair and professor at Grand Canyon University. As a transformative leader in education, she mentors doctoral students on research that creates meaningful local and global change. She is the founder of World Connections Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to inclusive, accessible education through free digital learning pods and micro videos. She also leads the College for World Connections, CWC, where faculty design affordable, future-ready learning pathways for adult learners. Her work emphasizes self-paced, adaptive education and the integration of AI to remove barriers and expand access for all. Outside the classroom, Dr. Taffer serves as a board of director for the National Assistance League, a content expert for 2 social impact documentaries, and a youth advocate with the Community Alliance for Youth Success. She leads workshops on the ethical use of generative AI, preparing students for the challenges of emerging technologies. Through every role, Dr. Taffer is driven by a mission to empower resilient, ethical leaders ready to reshape the future of education and social innovation. So before we bring up this incredible woman up on this virtual stage, I'd like to introduce Glenda Lambert and Gloria Peterson to give a few words about why they nominated Dr. Taffer for this prestigious Her Story Award. Please welcome Glenda and Gloria.
Do we have audio? I don't have audio. You can hear me? Okay, if you can hear me, I can't. This sounds strange. I guess it's my turn. First of all, I thought Susan, I thought you had this award a long time ago. You are so overdue. I don't know what Glenda said, so I'm going to try to add my piece to it. I understand you can hear me, even though I can't see that. Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't mean to go on and on about that. But I first met Susan through the World Connections Foundation. And then from there, it was the Global Women's Peace Network. And these opportunities were just amazing. All I can say is, Susan, you have been instrumental in rerouting my mindset, and I'm forever grateful. And that's what Susan does. If you listen to her and when she invites you to something, you don't question it. You just go because it could be a really great turning point in your life and in your career. So I'm so grateful for you, Susan. And I do hope you can hear this.
Hi, I'm so sorry. I was muted. Well, thanks so much, Gloria. That is wonderful. I was just sharing about how, for the first time when I met Dr. Susan, it was in an interfaith movement meeting, and I was so attracted to her spirit. I had to meet her, figure out who she is, and what can I know about her. And that has been a sisterhood, a friendship, a connection with an amazing woman. She really inspired me to always go beyond myself, to always see that there's always something great out there. She already is a transformational leader, also an incredible listener. And I really am so grateful, Susan, that you're here today. And I'm so grateful that finally you're getting this thing. It is a long overdue thing because we know how many women you nominated to get the Her Story Award. Persons like Gloria and Kim and Jackie and all these incredible women. You told us to say, hey, we know we're having these incredible women, so let's really nominate them. So today is your turn. It's kind of a small thing here, but when you come to Arizona, we're going to do a big celebration. But I just want to tell you how much your life, your work, your ethic, your grace, your resilience truly inspired me. I'm so proud of you. And on behalf of all the global women, ladies here in Arizona, we are really, really proud of you. You are the kind of person that really God has chosen, that has really supported our Dr. Moon, especially because you have the same vision like her, which is truly working towards a true global world where everybody can live in peace and harmony and love. Thank you so much and congratulations, dear sister. You are a living Her Story legacy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Glenda, Gloria. Dr. Connery, congratulations on your new role. Adia, very nice to meet you. And Ria, good afternoon, good evening, dear friends and family. It's really, really an honor to be recognized and asked to share my personal story with you this evening. Indeed, it is a privilege to stand among women who believe that we all need to build and lift each other up and heal this world through compassion and courage. So I carry a deep gratitude for this moment, and for each of you who will and who are walking the path of perseverance beside me. So, as I share my HerStory with you, I can assure you that I was not born into privilege nor advantage, but I was born into purpose. However, that purpose wasn't always clear, and it certainly wasn't easy. Like most of us, my life purpose simply just evolved. So I was raised in a family that struggled deeply, both in economics, emotionally, systemically. And one of the most defining losses of my life was the death of my brother, whose needs, like mine, were met with too few services and too little understanding. The tragedy of his passing wasn't just personal, it was a reflection of a system that failed a family in pain. And I carry that truth with me every single day, not as a wound, but as a charge. You see, clarity didn't come easy in my childhood, and it didn't come easy in my young adulthood either, because without support and without guidance, I was an angry kid and I was often misguided. Even though I knew I had something to offer, something more, I didn't know where to place that fire that was in my belly. So it took personal struggle, a lot of commitment, education, and deep soul work to transform that fire into purpose. So that transformation would become the heartbeat of my life's work. When I made that pivotal decision in my life to do great service to humanity and to begin pursuing my doctorate, I returned again and again to one question. How do we build systems that don't just educate, but heal, empower, and liberate? So that question now lives at the core of the College for World Connections and the World Connections Foundations. These are two platforms that are built to reimagine what learning and leadership can mean in the age of artificial intelligence and social disruption. Early in 2019, through the World Connection Foundation, our team actually scaled that mission globally because we built education programs and provided them free, back-to-back, live Zoom workshops to educators and to parents around the world on how to teach their children who then were now isolated at home due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And from that, the College for World Connections has been my continued response to the growing number of youth, ages 17 to 25-year-olds, who have since lost faith in what we call traditional education. And this, of course, is a result of the C-19 pandemic crisis as well. So I truly believe that these young people are not lost. They're just waiting for us to offer something real, something human. So thus my team of professors focus on developing soft skills, such as empathy, collaboration, resilience, creativity. These are the very abilities that AI can't replicate, but our world cannot survive without them. These are the two organizations that presently hold my heart and my legacy. However, I would really be remiss if I did not share with you one of the most profound moments of my journey with the Women's Federation for World Peace. So prior to the C-19 pandemic issue, WFWP sponsored me to attend the Interreligious Peace Conference that took place in South Korea. Now there I stood shoulder to shoulder with more than 2,000 religious leaders from around the world who all conferred together to influence a peace initiative encouraging reconciliation between North and South Korea. And this was a major step that played a key role in halting nuclear testing by North Korea. Now that moment didn't belong to politics. It belonged to people. It was boots on the ground, unified in prayer, purpose, and peace. And it actually confirmed something that I've known for a very long time. The real change makers aren't always heads of state. They're those of us willing to do the quiet, tireless work, sometimes in the shadows. And that same belief drives my involvement with the Global Women's Peace Network. And you heard mention from Gloria and Glenda about that organization locally. And it's a community of professional women who embed service in the heart of their businesses. And I'm really had the privilege of working with this group in Arizona. And many of those powerful women are here watching today. So today, I'm going to ask all of you for a renewed effort. From the women who are conscious and caring, from those of you who are here and ready to act on behalf of others in a new way. For the last 2 years, I've served on the board of directors for the National Assistance League in Southern California. And many of you know I live both in Arizona and California, and when I can, I'm at the beach. So I'm very fortunate. NAL is a 100-year nonprofit organization founded by Ann Banning, who sought to resolve and take care of the needs for families who had been impacted by the war. She and her friends sponsored kids who needed shoes and clothes to attend school, and she called it Operation School Bell. So exactly as I've noted, these were the women on the forefront in 1948. And by tradition, our NAL members are still quietly making a difference in communities across the US. So generation to generation, these members continue to be the boots on the ground. And they are united to assist whenever and wherever they are needed, everywhere, in urban communities and in inner city systems. There's over 100 chapters and very near 15 to 20,000 members. So this is why I ask, the scale of what's been lost in the way of support for school systems due to the funding cuts is still unknown. Combine this loss of funding, with the emerging more sophisticated needs of youth since the impact of the pandemic, and the ripple effect in our communities is yet to be completely realized. But one thing is clear, we need community-powered solutions and we need to prepare them now. Together, united in purpose, Assistance League, organizations such as the Global Women's Peace Network and WFWP can all unite in purpose. Assistance League is looking to address and meet these gaps in our education systems, both in Arizona, locally in Phoenix, Scottsdale, and many other cities across the country. So if you feel compelled to support our efforts to build new chapters, support existing ones, or even bring resources into underserved schools, I invite you to reach out to me and we'll get you connected. So in closing and on a personal note, if you take away anything from my HerStory today, let it be this. You don't need a perfect path to create a powerful legacy. You just need purpose and the courage to live it out. So my story is not one of arrival. It is instead a story of becoming, of purpose through adversity. And here I am, not because I have all the answers, but simply because I hold a vision and I refuse to give up on it. So I think my HerStory is still being written. And I thank you all for sharing and listening today. And I'm happy to answer questions at the end. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Taffer. Thank you for sharing your wonderful words of wisdom. I loved everything that you said about purpose and the need for, your story of needing guidance and support to find that purpose, and how that and now you're providing that guidance and support for others, because that was your story, and how that really empowers others. And we're cheering you on to not give up on that vision. And we're just like Glenda and Gloria have mentioned, I'm also like I saw your name on the flyer and I was like, oh, Dr. Taffer, we didn't give it to you before. Oh my gosh, this is well deserved. You are definitely an amazing person who deserves this recognition. So I'm honored to virtually present this to you, HerStory Award, to Dr. Susan Taffer on this day, July 26th, 2025, in recognition of your visionary leadership in transforming education into a force for equity, empowerment, and lifelong possibility. Through compassion, innovation, and unwavering commitment, you have reimagined what learning can be, rooted in the belief that knowledge, dignity, and purpose should be accessible to all. You are a catalyst for transformation and a steadfast guide toward a more just and inspired world. We honor you as a peace leader who lives by the logic of love. And you can see all the amazing comments in the chat. We're so happy and proud of honoring you today, and is definitely well deserved. Signed by myself and our North America president, Kaylee Moffitt. So congratulations to you, and you'll be receiving it physically in the mail soon after. Thank you, Dr. Taffer. Yep.
Thank you.
Back to you, Adia.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Katerina, Dr. Taffer. This was an amazing moment. Thank you so much for sharing your pearls of wisdom. There are just so many beautiful comments that are coming through, so we might be able to feature them here. Just congratulating you for this overdue award for all of the amazing work that you do. And I just want to also mention the very relevant work that you are doing with AI, which is so needed at this time, especially when it comes to ethical generative AI. That conversation needs to be more prominent, I think, when we're talking about AI today. So thank you for all that you do and for providing accessibility to adult learners and to youth. It's just incredible. And we look forward to seeing your organizations just continue to blossom from here. So with that, I'd like to introduce you to our second HerStory awardee for the program. And her name is Ani Zadikian. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I wasn't able to get a chance to ask her the correct pronunciation, but she is the founder for Remedy for the Needy. And Ani Zadikian is a compassionate community servant dedicated to humanitarian work, both locally and globally. A member of Seroptimist International, she advocates for the empowerment of women and girls, while also volunteering with the American Cancer Society's Discovery Shop to support cancer research. In San Diego County, Ani helps combat food insecurity through senior gleaners and annually volunteers with Gleanings for the Hungry, which sends food and quilts to communities in Central America, Africa, and Asia. With a background in the airline and travel industry, Ani has worked part-time as a caregiver for patients with Parkinson's and dementia, offering vital care and companionship. On her fourth trip to Armenia, Ani led a medical team providing free health and dental services to underserved regions. She continues to mobilize compassionate volunteers through Remedy for the Needy, committed to reaching and uplifting lives worldwide. Before we bring Ani up here to share more about her story and background, I'd like to introduce you to her nominator, Carolyn Betancourt, to say a few words why she nominated Ani for this HerStory Award. Carolyn?
Hello, everyone. Yes, this is really a great honor to, first of all, hear Dr. Taffer's words. That was really quite inspiring. Thank you, Dr. Taffer. And also to know that this kind of an award that could be given to women who have many times been in the background to give their support to other people. And yet we understand through Women's Federation that really it is that kind of heart that women have. That is what's going to make the world change. So I met Ani about 3 years ago, and she told me at that time the reason she wanted to get together is because she wanted to explain to me her vision that she had for a 501c3 to help a certain group of people in Armenia. And I listened, and I thought, I mean, this is really, she wanted to get medical staff. She was trying to look for volunteers to have doctors, who are retired, nurses, and any kind of health professional to go over to Armenia to help this group of people. And I thought, this is an amazing understanding. She's not a person of wealth. She's not a person of great resources, but she had this passion and this drive to help these people. So as in talking to her, I realized that she is that way with everybody. So she has founded the 501c3 Remedy for the Needy. She did it, and she did it with just minimal resources. She's actually been to Armenia, as it said in her bio, to help the people there. And at the same time, she's continuing to do her work to help people in the local area. So she helps the homeless. She does food programs for in various churches to help people with food, and she is always busy. So even though she's retired, she said that as long as there's life, there is hope, and that her purpose, as Dr. Taffer talked about, is to dedicate her retirement resources to giving hope to those who need it. And she went so far. Well, before I say that, she did go so far as last year. I hope she doesn't mind my telling you this story, but she went so far as the last year when she went over to Armenia to help the people there with the medical services. She had promised them that she was going to provide them with this medical service. Not only did she promise them, but she promised herself. She promised God. So she went over there, and she did not have any kind of volunteers from here. She went to a city close by where her group of people that she's trying to help live, and she, out of her own finances, paid over $20,000 to find medical staff to go with her to give 1 week of medical services free to the people there who needed it. When I heard this, it was just like I was blown away. I mean, this is amazing. Somebody to give that much. And then on top of that, she apologizes because I don't mean to only help the people over there, she says. I want to help the people here. I don't mean to just help Christians. I want to help Muslims. I would go to Gaza if I could, but I'm afraid I would lose my life. This is her whole heart, her whole life is just simply to give as much as she can. So excuse my tears, I'm a crier. I can't help it. But these kinds of things move me so much when somebody will give 100% from their heart to help somebody else. So this is truly the meaning behind the phrase, peace starts with me. Just imagine what this world would be like if we had more people who could live with that kind of desire to say, what I do to help others is what's going to bring peace in the world. So I would like with that to please listen to Miss Ani and her incredible story. Thank you.
Hello. I am Ani Zadikian, and I am so humbled by being nominated by Caroline, who just said such beautiful words, such touching feelings that I could only dream of hearing from a family member. I am, as I said, very humbled and honored. After hearing everything Dr. Teffer has done, I mean, I don't know if I am anybody to speak about what I have done, but I will, as I am here to talk about what I have done, I will do so. So I spend days, weeks, months trying to connect with people, to ask, to have empathy, to hear about the need in the world that I have witnessed through my travels. And all of a sudden, a dear lady, in this case, Caroline, at the complex where I live, nominates me for an award. So um, to be noticed, to be recognized is all of a sudden is a surprise. And people who give their hearts to missions, to help the needy, to um, just be a drop in the big lake of needs. Um, they don't do it to be recognized, but in some way we need to be recognized and be noticed also, because that's the only way we are going to spread the word that in this place, in that place, in this country, in that corner of the world, there are some unbelievable needs. And if I am not the one who will tell about Armenia, who else would? So I went in 2022, 23, 24. This year I'm getting ready to go in September again. So like everything is set, tickets and everything, that I will be there for close to 3 months. And during those times, again, I will do what I did last year. How did it start? And ended up with a medical mission. In the beginning, it was kind of just a humanitarian aid. And I had heard through friends about Pastor Jacob Persley, who is in Armenia, has been there for already 8 years. He is a pastor, he's a humanitarian, he's a helper, uh, or a great connector uh, with spirituality and with physical needs. And I started communicating with him, myself in San Diego, of course, and him in Armenia. And I asked, what are the needs other than the food that some communities need badly? What else do you need? And his groups that he works with, they said, we need used bikes and wheelchairs. So they help these disabled kids and grown-ups institution. They go to sing for them, talk with them, be moral support. So for those kids, they needed wheelchairs, and not brand new, just used ones. So I started asking in my community. I live in a senior community, and people connected to other people, and my church, Solana Beach Presbyterian Church, where the different elders, different mission directors know my heart. So they started uh, giving me the names of connections, and through them, we put together bikes, used bikes, and some 10 unopened boxes, brand new also within the 25 bikes and 25 used wheelchairs that were taken by this lady from the Veterans Administration, the hospitals, that after being used in a short time, for a short time, it's just thrown in the dumpster. So this lady had done this collection for more than 20 years, and she had started a big mission in Africa. So I got the wheelchairs through friends and through helpers. We put them in storage. Then we transported with a friend to Pasadena, where it got stored. So in the request, when we were going to speak about what we do, there were 3 points that we had to bring up. So one was the challenges. So the challenge was to find the volunteers who would help me. So in the beginning, of course, I wasn't a nonprofit. I wasn't a 501c3. So from day one, it was everything coming from my credit card and etc. So even I don't drive, so I had a great volunteer who drove the U-Haul truck to transport from San Diego to Pasadena the bikes and the wheelchairs to be stored. Why it had to be stored and not shipped? So this is the second issue that it was a lesson for me, that I will not, even if it is given for free, I will not collect like big stuff anymore to transport to Armenia, because the logistics, the transportation is a huge amount that makes the items that are gotten for free like annulled. It's not worth putting together those things if we are asked to pay for a shipping container to transport to Armenia anything that you will put in this shipping container. One container is shipped for $12,000. So to get items for free meant nothing at the end. So this is the lesson I learned, that it's better to put together some money and then purchase it locally so that we don't have to think about how do we transport this. So those bikes and wheelchairs stayed in the storage of a church, Armenian Evangelical Brethren Church. Richie Afsharian was the great pastor helping me with me not paying anything for storage, etc. Finally, it went with a few churches' finance resources. Again, I wasn't the one paying the 12,000. So in 2023, I don't know how much everyone knows about the history that has been Armenia and Azerbaijan, the neighbor. They have been in lots of issues for many years. And in 2023, from the enclaves of Azerbaijan, Armenian the 100,000 Armenian people were had to flee to the Republic of Armenia. And from where they were, it's about 25 kilometers, something like 13, 14 miles, not more, to the border of Republic of Armenia. And it was days and days of convoys with very incapable vehicles like for transportation. Finally, these people, 100,000 people, came with their own vehicles, nothing supported by the Republic of Armenia. But when they arrived, Republic of Armenia was the helper for months and months, and the residents of Armenia, brothers of the fleeing people, of course, gave them temporary housing, opened their houses. So there was a lot of help by the government and by the regular people. So during that time, I was there and helping with the needy already existing in the Republic of Armenia. And we were cooking for the needy. We were going to their houses, bringing supplies, and then praying over them. All these through Jacob Pursley's missionaries. I was just one more volunteer with them, going door to door and doing stuff. Just while doing that, these people started to flee, and they came and started to settle down in Armenia. So they needed work, they needed housing, they needed everything, because all they could bring were their belongings, just a blanket maybe. Not, they had left everything behind. So at that moment, I was in the humanitarian aid centers, and I did quite a lot. So at the end of 2023, the end of my trip 2023, when I came home, in my mind, I had started to plan that I need to do something other than the existing humanitarian aid that is coming from either European countries or from US. And clothing or food or other things were coming. I felt the biggest need was healthcare. And people who had settled down were in the areas with very high mountains, very far away because of the mountains, to the capital city, Yerevan, where there are lots of opportunities, work or housing, but they couldn't come, like the whole 100,000, of course, couldn't come to Yerevan. And they had settled down wherever they were welcomed. So in 2024, like Caroline was explaining, I went to Armenia. Before going there, I tried to have volunteer doctors who would do charity work just for a few days, not as long as I was going to stay, just for 3 or 4 days in the regions, in the villages, in the most unreached areas, to bring healthcare providers, either nurses or specialists or doctors or therapists. So I couldn't bring anybody from United States, because who was I? I was going to try this dream or plan that I had for the first time, and why would they trust me? So when I arrived to Yerevan, I had a team that I could take from the capital city, Yerevan, to the difficult areas that with vans, there are no airports, any other city than Yerevan, the capital. So it's always through the roads that we have to reach to those areas. So I went with specialist doctors and stayed at different regions, 3 nights, 4 nights sometimes, and then came back to Yerevan. And then we did another one. So like she said, it was something that I spent about 20,000, including my airfare and all these things. But when I came back, I started paying back. So that's besides the point. When I am thinking again, of course, nothing will stop me just because I don't have enough money, just because I don't have doctors who are coming from Europe or from United States to help us in Armenia. What I have been thinking, when people have support and resources and hope in their homeland, so these ethnic Armenians who came to Armenia, that's their homeland now. They don't have to uproot their lives or risk everything to survive. They can thrive where they are. How can they do that? If they have improved healthcare access, and if we can deliver basic aid where the need is big. So we aim to empower communities with the essential need for a human being, which is healthcare. A very important question at this point in the USA. What really reduces migration to USA? Building more walls, detaining children and deporting parents, or building up lives in the regions where people already call home? When families are healthy, secure, and supported, they are not going to dream or look forward to migrate to another country. My deep down purpose at the end is, if I can do one small thing, starting with one country, which is Armenia, if I can stop the dreamers coming from Armenia or looking forward to come to United States, maybe it's going to be one little solution.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And I can feel there's so much more to share as well. I just love hearing from you, because I feel you and also Dr. Taffer and many of our HerStory awardees have this beautiful, humble heart of, you're not seeking recognition or someone to say good job, but the motivation is just from the heart of wanting to care for. You see the need and you just can't sit still.
Yes.
You have to do something. So I think that is something that we need to highlight more, that heart, so that more people can feel that it is possible to make a positive change. And we see all the negative things in the news, but there are, as we've heard, Mr. Rogers said, right? Look for the helpers.
That's
You
right.
are one of those helpers. So there is hope and light in the world. So without further ado, I virtually present this award to you, the HerStory
Thank you.
Award, to Ani Zadikyan,
Thank you.
on this day, July 26, 2025, in recognition of your unwavering dedication to empowering communities in need. Your compassion, resilience, and leadership have provided vital support when it was needed most. By turning empathy into action, you have become a powerful force for change, bringing hope, healing, and transformation to countless lives. We honor you as a peace leader who lives by the logic of love. So congratulations and thank you for all of your work, and especially for your heart and the reason behind your work. And we are behind you, and we would love to support you as you continue to work and support those
Thank you.
communities and the dreamers of Armenia. So thank you so much. And with that, I pass it back to Adia to wrap it up for the evening.
Thank you so much, Dr. Connery and Ani, for, yes, your heartfelt, passionate message, your purpose that just continues to move you, and the lessons that you've learned. And for, like Dr. Katerina said in the beginning, with our founder's words, that women are a bowl. We're like a bowl. We can hold all sorts of people. And I feel like that's what your organization does, Remedy for the Needy. And I'm so happy that you received this award today. So thank you for the amazing work that you do. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to go ahead and wrap up this incredible program. You heard from two amazing women leaders who are shaping the world with their courage and their compassion. And if this moved you in any way, we invite you to look more into Women's Federation, to even become a member. If you really believe in the power of true womanhood to save the world, we are doing it here. We are embracing these women who are moving from their heart and who are moving into action and are creating transformations, not only in their local communities, but globally. So we invite you to become a member, to support the work that we're doing, to support the work that these wonderful women are doing that you heard from today. And also, if you want to hear more heart-inspiring stories, we have a podcast, the HerStory podcast, in fact, which you can find on Spotify. There is a QR code on the screen if you want to go ahead and shoot a picture of that with your phone. It will directly link you to our HerStory podcast, where we interview women just like you heard today about the incredible work that they're doing, how women leadership is so powerful in the way of leading in compassionate ways, in soft power, how it differs from our typical idea of leadership, and what it means to work and collaborate with men. And we also talk about the legacy that they see, that they are working towards. And it is just a very moving and incredible conversation. I hope that you can join us and listen in and subscribe to that podcast as well. So with that, thank you all for joining us live, for the amazing messages that you have been sharing online, either on YouTube or Facebook. We are so glad that you are here live celebrating with us, and we hope that you can share this with others that were not able to make it today. And with that, we will see you again in a few months with HerStory in Action. Have a wonderful rest of your July, and good evening, good afternoon, goodbye. Until next time, bye.